Hey guys, welcome to the second edition of the Mark Strigl interview podcast. This is a interview with John Bush from the great band Armored Saint, who have just such a great history. If you don't know Armored Saint, I strongly suggest you go check them out. Their last studio record was just awesome. Win Hands Down. It was released on Metal Blade. And what an honor to talk to John Bush. You know, I'd interviewed him once backstage at That Metal Show when I was working as a segment producer on that metal show, but really enjoyed talking to him in this context. It was over the phone, and he just sounded relaxed. He sounded like he's in a good mood, and they have a great new live record coming out, Armored Saint that is, which he's going to tell me all about. And yeah, we talk about a lot of stuff here. Armored Saint, Anthrax, a little bit. You know, his work, what he does. This isn't the only thing he does. Like many musicians today, he's got another job too. So he's going to tell us all about this. This is a fun interview, and a big thanks to John Bush from Armored Saint for joining us here on the Mark Strigl interview podcast. Thanks, guys. We will talk to you soon, and enjoy this interview. Hey, it's Mark Strigl from Talking Metal, and calling in on the line, we have John Bush from Armored Saint. John, how are you?
What's up, Mark? How are you, brother?
I'm good. Glad to talk with you tonight, and very excited because we have on February 24th coming out on Metal Blade the new live record, which you just told me how to pronounce it. And I'm
Want me to say it again?
Yeah, say it again. Say it again.
I don't even know if my Latin is proper, but it's Carpe Noctem.
Carpe.
Seize the night.
Okay, cool. And let's talk a little bit about the record. I heard a couple clips off of it, which sounded great. I heard Aftermath and March of the Saint on YouTube. It's a album and a DVD. I'm told, right?
Well, I know we have some live videos that are part of it, but I don't know if it's an actual combination package as far as for sale. Right. So some of the DVD, the videos are available eventually to see. For instance, I just saw the Last Train Home clip, and it looks great. And awesome. We've already released Aftermath as well. But that's not part of the package, to my knowledge, at least. It's just a live record.
Right. Okay, I got you. Cool. So, what other songs can we expect? Aftermath.
Well, there's Aftermath, which was actually the first video that we did, and then there's March of the Saint, which also came out or is coming out. Some of it was gave it to some of the people who were part of our pledge campaign, and they were able to see it first. And then Last Train Home. We also have the song Win Hands Down and also Mess from the last record.
Cool.
So that's 5. Let me see it. I'm going over it in my head now.
Right.
Oh, Stricken by Fate, which is a classic Armored Saint song from the very beginning, from March of the Saint. So that's 6. We also have Left Hook from Right Field. And the 8th song is Rain of Fire. So
nice.
There's 8 tracks on it. Which some people have complained is not enough, and we understand that. But the philosophy behind the small amount of songs is that it really was never meant to be a live record. Actually, what we did was we had a couple of recordings, and we were releasing them for this pledge music campaign that we did that basically helped us do the Queensryche tour that we just finished in November and December, and then once we put that out to them, to the pledge members, and we realized, well, everybody should hear this because it sounds great. We're super proud of it, and it's an Armored Saint live record. It heard in the most proper of sense. So then that's when we put it out. So yes, it'd be great to have more tracks, and I'm fully in agreement with that. But some of the songs that we had, the recordings, because it was only from 2, we just kind of felt like they weren't maybe up to snuff as far as our individual performances. So we said, well, these are the ones. So
right, gotcha.
We didn't have like 10 shows to base it on, and it was really 2. And if there was some flubs and things that were just not quite up to like I said, up to snuff, we didn't want to put them out. So.
Gotcha. And so it's the songs are pulled from two different shows?
Two different shows: the Wacken Festival in Germany, and also a club show that we did in the city called Aschaffenburg.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, we're looking forward to hearing it, and we'll have it linked through today's show notes on talkingmetal.com.
It sounds awesome. We're real proud of it. It's, we try to make a live record that sounded like all of the vintage live records that we grew up on, like Strangers at Night, UFO, and Priest, Unleash in the East, and Kiss Alive, and those are like the classic live records. Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous, as far as we're concerned. So I think we finally kind of hit it. Like, I'm real proud of the performances on this.
Cool. What's the process in recording a live record? Do you bring all the individual tracks back and then mix it in Pro Tools, I'm assuming, or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Joey mixed it, which he's an awesome engineer, really, in all ways, and he had some work cut out for him and making sure that some of the levels were right, and it's live, so you got things that are kind of loose, and Armored Saint's a loose band as it is. I mean, we really are, which I think is, at this point, it's a cool aspect because everything is so perfect, and we're not. But I think that's what makes it kind of live and raw and real, and so there's a little bit of Joey's magicianship that is involved in making it all work, but he did a great job.
Definitely, the tracks I heard sounded very full and awesome, and again, February 24th, the new live Armored Saint record will be out on Metal Blade. And, it wasn't that long ago, I guess middle of 2015, that you guys just put out just a great studio record, which was your first album back since 2010, Win Hands Down. I would suppose it's probably too early to think about another studio record. Is that correct?
Well, it would be when we're talking about Armored Saint, I guess, since we don't move in the most rapid of ways. But, it's in my mind. I'm sure it's in Joey's mind. I'm sure it's in the other guy's mind. We were extremely proud of Win Hands Down. We think we made a really great record that sounds like a classic Armored Saint record, but at the same time, it sounds like a record that's modern as well and came out now instead of 1987. So we're real proud of that, and we would love to kind of continue on with that kind of vibe. But at the same time, I've said this on a couple of occasions that for us, I'd rather make a record and have a bunch of great songs and have that be the catalyst to do something, contrary to we got some momentum, and we're doing well, and we've just did a bunch of tours and probably the most dates that we've done in years. So let's put out another record so we can keep doing that. That to me would be the wrong approach for Armored Saint. Certainly that might work for certain bands, and I get it, because these days touring is one of the best ways and kind of one of the few ways that people can make money. But for us, it's more about making a quality record, and then once we do that, then the show aspect of it is like, hey, let's go play some gigs now, kind of thing. So that's really the primary objective. And I think that if we feel like we have a good idea for a record and have some great ideas, then we could do that. And that's kind of where my mind is. I haven't really worked on anything. I don't know if Joey has, honestly. But, I certainly, if we were going to make a record, I think that, unfortunately time is not completely on our side in terms of waiting around, because, I make the joke, like, singing Rain of Fire when I'm in my mid-60s might be a tall order. It is now, in my early 50s. So it's not like I want to really wait around too long and do things, although we could continue to just play shows, and we certainly have a large catalog of songs that we can dive into and mix up our set, so it's not like the same old story, because I hate that. But, if we can come up with a cool vibe and some great song ideas for a record, then sure, I want to make a record. I think we just have to probably have the discussion about it, and see if there's something churning there. I don't want to overthink it, and I don't also want to, sit around and kind of be meticulous about what we're going to do, because that's not really our way either. But I do think it, merits a conversation at least, and come up with something that we think is maybe the direction if we're going to do it.
Cool. Now, Joey stays busy with a lot of other stuff like other bands and recording and stuff when Armored Saint is not active. What stuff keeps you busy when you're not doing Armored Saint?
As unexciting as it may sound to the average metal music fan, I have a business that I have with my wife where I'm involved in as a casting studio that she's had for years, and I've also kind of involved myself in it for a long time now. But that's it. We do that, and it's a good little mom and pop business that helps kind of pay the bills and have fun and have a nice life. And I'm also a father, and I'm pretty involved with my kids' life. And
cool.
Sometimes I'm just driving my kids to hockey.
Yeah.
So. Still cranking rock and playing, cool music, especially for my kids, because I try to make sure that they listen to the proper music, in my opinion. So,
cool.
Not get them exposed to some of the awful pop music that a 9 and 12-year-old might listen to or be exposed to. But we do that, and I've pretty much at this point given most of my musical attention to Armored Saint.
Right. Okay. And when you say casting company, so you're providing like actors to movies and commercials and stuff like that? It's
primarily commercials. We cast actors. We get hired by a production company or ad agencies, and then they say this is what we need for a commercial that we're going to make for whatever Nissan, and then my wife's the casting director, and I assist her, and then work for other people there, and other casting directors work out of it as well. So then actors come in, and audition for it, and that's the kind of the beginning process of how commercials are made.
Right on. I have Spotify, and I wanted to ask you, I use it all the time. Every day I'm listening to Spotify. I have a couple questions about Spotify for you. I noticed all the Anthrax stuff with you, the stuff with Joey's on there, but the John Bush era Anthrax stuff sadly is not on Spotify. Any idea why?
Well, I don't know. None of it is.
No, nothing.
None of it is.
Nothing.
Huh,
and all the Joey stuff is there. But you go on iTunes, you can download it on iTunes,
right.
Your stuff is on iTunes, but not on Spotify.
I don't have an answer for that. The first two records, when we basically got the masters back from Elektra, that was part of the deal upon leaving, and those records are kind of licensed as we go kind of thing. And that's why there's sometimes an area of kind of uncertainty with those. And then the Volume 8 record was also a record that, at the time we were together with a record company that's called Ignition that, is no longer in business. So that's kind of a gray area as well. The We've Come For You All record came out Nuclear Blast. So I don't, they're a functioning label, so
right.
It should be available through that. But, some of the ways our records have been handled in Anthrax, as far as having them properly licensed and everything, is just kind of, I don't know, it's not happening as you can see.
Right.
And I would love to have those records be available. I mean, like they are on iTunes, like we said.
Yeah.
If I go to Amoeba Records and I go through the Anthrax, section, I never see any of the records I've made.
Right.
Quite honestly, which is, disheartening, because I'm really proud of those albums, and I think we made some great music, and
Definitely.
I certainly would like them to be available for people to check out. Like you said, on iTunes, you can download them or purchase them. But I don't know why that's the case, and that's not the most positive thing if
right.
It's not there. That's a bummer.
What about Spotify in general? Do you think it's hurting the music business? Do you think it's a good thing?
The whole streaming thing, I don't know that much about it. I know that, I got a present for the holidays for, the Alexa thing, and we use it in our house, and, Alexa, play Armored Saint, whatever. So, I mean, not that I'm doing that.
Right.
I'm not that narcissistic. But,
right.
I was talking to Brian Strigl not that long ago, and he said that he feels like the whole streaming thing with music is going to eventually work itself out. And that's coming from him, who,